Really simple idea today. You have two choices, or one of two options to choose. So really you have one choice. How you view everything is based on this one choice. There's a lot of duality in Eastern philosophy. It's, yin and yang and the concept of night and day. And it really is amazing when you start understanding and thinking about how it applies to everything in life. If you have a lot of money, if you have a lot of access to opportunity, whatever, then you have information overload. Then you become unhappy because you're working all the time. Like, there's always something that comes with something, right? They've said there's no free lunch. Absolutely true. Because even if it's a free lunch, usually something comes with it. There's always a con to every pro. And for every pro, there's a con. In fact, most of the time, the very thing is defined by the other. So think about it. What is night if you didn't have day? If you didn't have black, how could you have white? They define each other. Without men, there wouldn't be women. Without women, there wouldn't be men. We'd all just be hermaphrodites, I guess, or where we reproduce ourselves. Don't quote me. This idea applies to every single thing that you do in your life and how you think about all the things that you do in your life. It's kind of like the idea of maybe spending your money. You can spend your money and you either get satisfaction out of the thing you're purchasing, or maybe you get an experience, or you stow it away and you don't spend it, and you let it build and grow, and then it generates you more money in the future and might come with other benefits like security, prosperity, etc. But you give up short-term satisfaction, short-term hit of dopamine for a long-term reward, right? Pro and con, night and day. And everybody has to spend some now to live, to eat, to have shelter, but a lot of us spend too much. We could be investing more. Same thing with your time. Am I using this time and I'm wasting it? Or is it serving some purpose? Am I getting enjoyment? Am I getting rest and recovery? Absolutely, all needed. But again, most people do too much of that and they get sucked into laziness and sloth. I'm eating food, but am I eating all the time too much and the wrong things? I'm getting all the satisfaction now, but I'm gonna pay for it later when I gain 10 pounds, when I don't feel good, when I can't sleep, when my digestion is all messed up. Pro and con. You can't go without food though, you need it. And you can also, on the other end, kill yourself if you have too much of it. Going a little bit esoteric on this topic, because really it's a binary. And that's, a lot of things aren't binary. A lot of things aren't black and white, although they do have duality. So there's a lot of gray. But I believe with this topic, the one that I'm about to share with you right now, I do believe it is binary. I think for every decision in your life, probably even everything you do, it's either serving you and investing and helping you in some way for your future, or it's taking away. There's a lot of examples that I could go. I already gave quite a few. So let's just think about how you think about things. Let's talk about just your mindset. When you fail at something, it either teaches you something or it destroys you because you focus on it and you can't see things clearly and it makes you depressed and whatever. The exact same thing, yet two exact different outcomes. One outcome, you're actually better off, and one outcome, you're severely worse off. Just like everything in your life, everything that you do, and the way you think about all the things. I'm gonna read this book. It's gonna be an investment in my future. I get enjoyment out of it as well, but I also get benefit in the future. I'm gonna lazily sit around and binge on Netflix and not really like what I'm watching, just passing time, killing time, whatever, when I should go out for a walk or read a book or exercise or whatever. These decisions we make on a daily basis and the things we do connected to them, they really either hurt us or help us. And like I said in the rest example, up to a point we do need to rest, but then it can be taken too far. But again, coming back to the idea of how you think about things. Now, this video is prompted by a post I had on social media where I basically mapped out the hours in a day. I took, the hours you sleep, the hours you're awake, 50 hours for work, etc. And it had it so that the numbers still had 44 hours left in a day, even if you have a full-time job. And the question was kind of like, and you don't have time? A lot of people talk about they don't have time. They're always rushing around doing things. But most people are filling their time with garbage. They're not managing, they're not chunking, they're not batching, they're doing things, task switching. They're not doing things that are effective for getting more time and more productivity out of a day, or even just more rest out of a day. That post had some people that love the concept, and again, I'm just showing them math, right? I'm just bringing it to their attention. And some people started coming up with excuses. Oh, well, if you have kids, and you have this, and you have to clean, and you have to commute, and you have to do all these things. One girl even said the post was tone deaf. It was tone deaf. What? I put the math of the week that is universal for every human on planet Earth, and it's tone deaf? What? Serious? And that is literally what prompted this. That is victim mentality. That is a person that looked at that post and then felt some kind of internal dissonance, angst. And so she had to make excuses so that she could dispel that internal angst. That is victim mindset 101. And that is how fundamentally you can take something like that is actually arbitrary. It's not left or right. It's just a fact. It's just a math problem. It just shows you something we all know. It's just numbers. And some people can take it in a way that excuses the things and keeps them where they're at. Some people can take it and get motivated by it. And they can become more self-aware with it. They can ask themselves, well, where do I find opportunities in my life where I could cut out things or do things better or whatever? Or is my perception of my time flawed in some way? And the answer for most people it is. So you have this completely unbiased thing, just a simple math problem statement. And you show that. What you pull from it, and this is the binary thing, this is the point of the video. It's either useful or it's damaging or not useful. There's no in between. And actually, I would even say it's either useful or it's either damaging. Because some things could be not useful and just be kind of static, but I believe that a lot of times the duality of useful is something that actually hurts you. So that's how, and this example is perfect because this girl has this idea about her time and she's using it to justify the way she thinks and coming up with all those things. Oh, and we got into a comment thing and she even said like, it was a thing of privilege. She threw out privilege and some other nonsense. And I was kind of like, okay, you've pretty much lost me with that one because I'm basically giving you a math problem. You're saying it's tone deaf. Now you're talking about privilege. Like, seriously, get out here. Like, this is ridiculous, right? But she's just more solidified in her own bullshit dogma. And the other people, one guy was like doing this. He said he actually lost his company's job, whatever, and he's working a lot of hours. He made a comment. And I was like, sounds like you're doing exactly what you need to do. If you work 110 hours a week and you're doing it to recover, then that's great. Hopefully he'll get some benefit out of it though. And then some other people were like, I've been struggling with this. I'm at a corporate job. I'm working on, etc. And they really used it as a source of inspiration and a source to think about their situation in a productive manner. It didn't really seem like anyone was in the middle either. It was kind of like, either they made excuses and it was hurting them. It was only solidifying their own bias, or they took some benefit out of it and they're going to use it to be inspired or motivated to make changes in their life. In your life, start asking yourself, is this going to benefit me or is it going to hurt me? And then remind yourself, am I going to choose to get benefit out of this or am I going to choose to shoot myself in the foot with this? And that is that binary question that can be applied to almost everything in life. So anytime you find yourself getting angry or getting emotional, getting a little sweaty in the pits, somebody says something you don't like and you feel like you have to say something to justify your worldview and your ego, and you got to maintain this dogmatic status quo, take that as a sign to take a step back, even take a step outside of yourself, and just ask yourself, well, what's going on here? Why do I feel this way? And even more, to take this exercise even deeper, ask yourself, what would it be like if I believed exactly what they said? How would I feel and how would I justify it? You're trying to take the other side and you're trying to justify it and even empathize with how that person thinks or how you may think in that situation. And this is an extremely powerful mind exercise. This type of stuff can change lives, ladies and gentlemen, really. Because fundamentally, the problem with you, with me, with all of us, we can only rise up to the level of our lowest amount of self-awareness and consciousness. And most of us have a lot of leveling up to do. I've been doing this stuff for 12 years. I remember every year that I move forward, I look back on the last year and I'm just like, wow, you thought you knew everything? You thought you had it all figured out? You didn't know shit. And I'm happy for that. I embrace that because it means I'm moving forward. I mean, I read 125 books a year, and every single year, I feel like I know 10 times more or maybe 100 times more, or whatever, than before. Even though a lot of the books I'm reading the same stuff. I'm constantly trying to level up my awareness. And that's a big thing that I believe and that I try to infect in the culture of wild foods and Tribes and K with our students and everything. So a little bit longer than I would have liked for today, but this is a very big, important topic, and I really hope you'll find a chance to do some digging in your own life, raise your self-awareness up a little bit, and just get in there and really find opportunities to take a benefit out of everything. Your biggest failures, your most painful situations, they are fuel for your future if you use them the right way. Or it's going to be a ball and chain that's literally sucking you into the quicksand. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's it for today. Get it.